right of persons with Disabilities Act 2016 remains only a legal document without intense sensitization of government functionaries and citizens regarding disability. Comment. Now, this was one question which overlaps with your Indian society as well. Now, remember one thing, whenever you get such question, okay, Rights of Disabilities Act and all, then first of all you need to define disabilities, and then if you have any data to quote, it will add value to your answer. Then second, you talk about this Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, what it provides. Then, so intro, all of you, intro here in this question, define disability, and any data if you have, quote data. Then body. So here first you will divide it into two parts. First, what does this right provides? And then second, what does this lack? And then finally, the conclusion, you talk about the way forward, what must be done in order to get rid of the problem. Okay. So here again, this question you need to answer in 150 words only. So you have to stick to the word limit. So first of all, we define disability. Now according to OHCHR, see actually this OHCHR is your Office of United Nations High Commission on Human Rights. It says persons with disabilities include those who have, remember, long term, this is important, long term physical, mental, intellectual or sensory impairments which in interaction with various barriers may hinder their full and effective participation in society on an equal basis with others. So this is how disability is defined, that this is your long term physical, mental, intellectual or sensory impairment which is acting as a kind of hindrance in their full and effective participation in the society. Okay. So this is the definition of the disability, and then all of you here you can quote the data that according to 2011 census 2.21% of the total population is disabled in India. And now all of you please keep in mind, in a country of 1.4 billion people, this 2.21% is a significant number, and therefore the government as well as the society must pay equal focus on them. Now second, what does this right provide? Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2006. What does this provides? First, it gives recognition, that is statutory rights to the disabled population. So first of all, it gives the recognition, because recognition is very important, statutory recognition. Second, it proactively promotes reservation benefits. So it proactively promotes reservation benefits. They definitely needed to uplift them, to boost their confidence. Providing reservation benefits is very important. Then next, provides a right to free education to the age group from 6 to 18 years. So 6 to 18 years, they are provided right to free education. Next, stress has been given to ensure accessibility in public buildings. Accessibility in public buildings. Now, many of you would have seen that nowadays these transport buses, like for example when we talk about low floor DTC buses and all. So these low floor DTC buses, okay, so the government is preferring these low floor DTC buses or the transport buses, keeping in mind the person with disabilities, that it would be more convenient and easier for them to kind of just enter in the bus or get down from the bus. Similarly, you can find out at different railway stations, metro stations, you can find yellow strip. So those strips, they are meant for people with disabilities, just to help them, to guide them. Then next, streamlined compensation and grievance redressal mechanism. See, in the process of governance, grievance redressal is one of the very important parameter, and this right, it ensures it, that the grievances of the person with disabilities, PWDs, people with disabilities, their grievances are redressed properly. Now, this is the important part. This is the important part. See, we have seen what this right has provided, but still long way to go. Why? De-stigmatization. Sensitization of people, the government machineries, is very important, because until or unless the people as well as the government, okay, the society as a whole, okay, it becomes sensitive to the needs as well as demands of the people with disabilities, till then you cannot ensure them independent, dignified lives. See, all of you, please keep in mind that right to life means right to dignified life. This does not mean only living for the survival. So for the dignified life, it is very necessary, it is extremely necessary that people, they are sensitized, and in this is social inclusion. When we talk about governance, we talk about participation. Any governance is a healthy governance, good governance only when more and more people participate. So now, when we talk about participation, remember, we not only talk about participation of men and women and people from all sections of the societies, we also mean people with disabilities. They must also participate in the processes. They must be part of the system. They must not feel excluded. They must not feel excluded. Therefore, nowadays we also call them specially abled. Instead of, though this act is right with Disabilities Act, but nowadays we call these people especially abled ones. Yes, and here the examples like that persistent prejudices against the people, that yes, they are your kind of bad omens and all, this must be kind of, completely eradicated from the society. Such kind of thoughts and imaginations, it must be eradicated, completely wiped out. There is no place for such narrow and mean thoughts in our society at present. Here the next thing can be inclusion of the children with disabilities in regular school. See, when I am saying they have to be part of the system, they must not feel kind of aloof or separate. Okay. So here social inclusion, when we talk about the social inclusion, means the children, yes, they must participate with the other children, they must study with them, they must play with them. Until or unless there is interaction at primary age, definitely all of a sudden at when one becomes adult, you cannot make sure that he will have kind of empathy, or he will be kind of interacting with those people. These qualities must be inculcated, must be developed at the early stage. Therefore school plays very important role, where once the children starts interacting with them, they feel that yes, they are the same, they are not different. Then next is empowerment. Needs comprehensive policies which can create opportunities and avenues for growth. See, what is the present problem with this society or the government? The present problem here is that they kind of empathize with them and they think that yes, they must provide them some kind of benefit. No, you give them the opportunity, let them grow, let them develop, empower them. Instead of making them just the beneficiary, empower them. That is the real meaning of development. Then similarly, negative attitudes held by the families of the disabled must be given up. And here you can talk about the mental illness or mental retardation. That this is one section which is worst stigmatized, and then the other ones you can talk about the facilitating ease of living, bureaucratic apathy, public officials, they lack compassion, okay, related to PWDs, which increases the mental agony of the people with disabilities. So you need to just give few points, and then here policy planning framework that incorporates compassion and emotional intelligence along with best practices. So in best practices, you can the example of the state of Kerala, where the state government machinery is too active in involving and making the people with disabilities or the specially abled people participate in the process. So you can give the example of Kerala, required to live life with dignity. Now here, see, the Ministry of Social Justice and Environment has invited public feedback on the new draft of national policy. Okay. So this is a kind of way forward. This ministry has invited public feedback, and then all of you, a Jan Andolan is must to secure the constitutional principle of justice for all. So when you end your answer with such a statement, then it gives a positive impact on your answer. So this was one question where, since it talks about the public policy and all, so it is a part of governance, and since it is talking about right of person with disabilities, this is also part of a social justice society.